Hey guys, welcome. Yepa, Shamanic practitioner. Welcome to my channel, raising the vibrations across the nation. Come on in. Um, Today we're going to be tapping into the element of air. So for my air signs, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Please make sure that you check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising signs as well for additional information. So for my air signs, today's collective reading is going to be pertaining to how is your soul shifting? Okay. How is your soul shifting? All right. So let's go ahead and tap on in. Please make sure that you subscribe. Please make sure that you like. Feel free to comment. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Divine Spirit, tap me into the collective here for the air signs. Again, this is a collective reading, guys. So take what resonates and leave what does not. Okay. Don't make it fit if it don't stick. All right, Divine Spirit, for my air signs. How is their soul shifting? For the collective, my air signs. How is their soul shifting? For my air signs. How is their soul shifting? And for my air signs, how is their soul shifting? For my air signs, how is their soul shifting? For my air signs, how is their soul shifting? Thank you, Spirit. All right. Breaking patterns. You're breaking karmic cycles. You're breaking repetition. Okay, so your soul is shifting. It's breaking free from patterns. My air signs, Divine Spirit. How is their soul shifting? For my air signs, how is their soul shifting? For my air signs, how is their soul shifting? And for my air signs, how is their soul shifting? For my air signs. For my air signs, how is their soul shifting? For my air signs, how is your soul shifting? Do I accept? Okay. We have number 2, angel. Feathers. You're going to find feathers. A feather. Okay. Once you find this feather, this is going to be confirmation of everything that I have spoken to you about. Okay. So just give me a few moments here, my air signs. How is your soul shifting? It's a lot of solar plexus chakra energy here. I feel like, my air signs, your soul is shifting when it comes to its personal power. But in the category of patterns, in the category of cycles, in the category of toxicity, hindrance, limitations, restrictions. And the fact that we have the angel right next to it, the angel is always of light. It's always of its purest white light. This spirit has his wing open, wide. What I'm getting from that, air signs, is that your soul had to show you boldly some patterns, some cycles, some repetition in your life that was no longer serving you. And you actually couldn't keep going forth until you saw it. You know, this gold is yellow. Gold yellow is very bold. Like you couldn't miss it. You couldn't miss it. So it's kind of like you had to be shown boldly. So however you were shown, you know, a pattern, it may have not been in the most pleasant way, even though this is a beautiful color. It is a powerful color, you know, but it can be very blinding as well. And that was the thing. Many of you were blinded. Blinded by the patterns that maybe you didn't even see as a pattern. Or blinded by the things that you didn't really see as an issue. Or you saw as an issue, but maybe you really didn't put your foot down. Or maybe you really didn't create healthy boundaries, okay? So it's like we have to, let's go ahead and expand our wings here. Let's expand our wings here. And the only way for you to expand your wings, and the only way for you to reach a level of expansion on a soul level, I have to boldly show you some patterns. Boldly enough that you have no choice but to stop, look, focus, and release. So that's what your soul has been going through. And with this sense of release that has been transpiring through the revelations that your soul has given you, I feel like now for many of you, you have now identified those patterns. You have now became aware of them. You have began to take action on them. Okay? And now that you've been moving in that direction of action in those steps here, your angels, right, can now show you the light that comes from what you've been working so hard towards. I hope you're following me here. The angel can now show you the light. The angels can now show you where the magic really is. The angels can now show you where the beauty truly lies. Okay? And that's amazing here. Now, understand that we are a consciousness based on duality. Okay? So, like I said in one of my other videos here, many of you are in this space here where, like I said, the universe, your soul has revealed to you certain patterns. You've been taking action, and now you're starting to see the light. You're starting to feel the shift. Okay? You're starting to feel it. And for others here, this is where you're going to be headed into by being stopped in your tracks so that you can see boldly certain patterns. So again, I'm speaking to two different tiers. Okay? We got the number 2 here. For some of you, it could have been 2 significant things in your life that was a pattern, that was karmic, that was repetition. Okay? So pretty much your soul is liberating you. Your soul is shifting into a space of liberation. Your soul is shifting you to another frequency that you may not be familiar with. Because of course, if it's a pattern, if it's a cycle, if it's repetition, it's something that you've been doing over and over and over again. It's something that you've become comfortable with. Okay? is something that you have become conditioned with. But the freedom, the balance that's going to be restored in your life. And it's like your angels played a role in all of it. They was behind you, making sure that you don't continue down the same path. You don't continue down the same road. That the bus stops there. The bus stops here. Okay? Alright, for my air signs here. My air signs. How is their soul shifting? My air signs. Yep. This card, I tried to put it back in the deck, and as much as I tried to bring the cards together, this card would not go back. So we got shortcuts, and that was the thing here. Some of you guys, tried to, bust moves, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be dealing with this like this. I want to do things like this. You tried to do shortcuts to get to a destination that you wanted to reach. And your soul was like, no, I'm sorry, air signs. This is not something that you can bypass. This is not something that you can fast forward to. This is something here that we must go deep into. There is a process that must occur. See, the reason why it wasn't microwave, because you wouldn't have got the point of it all. If the process was shortcut and microwavable, you wouldn't have got the point of it all. But it was because of the process. It was because of the process that you had to go through. So there's no shortcuts. Your soul is like, look, there's definitely a shift happening here. For the better always. But you must know that you cannot speed up your evolution on this matter here. This is not a quick fix. Because not only do we have to now break these patterns, right? Now we have to relearn new patterns. And that's a process. Process. So it's like your soul had to stop you because there was levels that you wanted to skip over and you couldn't. This deck is ready to speak for my air signs here. How is their soul shifting right now? For my air signs, how is their soul shifting? We have receive and open. Okay? So, like I said, many of you have been going through this releasing. Now you're in this process of feeling liberated now. Because you see, like, wait, hold up. I'm so glad that shit was bold as hell. Like, man, I feel so much better now that I'm not on a hamster wheel going in circles. Okay? However, though, now what? Now that's where the learning starts. Now this is where the relearning, right, starts. And so it's kind of like also in this soul shift here, and you're in this space of it's time to receive. It's time to receive in this new space where this balance is being restored. Where this harmony is being restored, where this liberation is being restored, you're in your receiving season. You're in your receiving season. Give me a second. Write this down. Now, in this space of patterns, of karmic cycles, whatever it was, whether it was a relationship, whether it was how you spent your money, or whether it was how you handled certain jobs you were at, whether it's how you took care of your health here, okay? You could have been a lot in your masculine energies. Okay? You could have used a lot of energy. You could have people pleased a lot. You could have do. You know, and whatever it is, whatever the circumstances is, you were in your masculine energy. But this shift, this new season, you're in your feminine energy. Even if you are divine masculine, you're in your feminine energy. This next chapter is not about people pleasing. This next chapter is not about working extra hard, like doing the most. Okay? Doing the most, going above and beyond. All right? It is about you flowing, being flexible, being more adaptable. In this space, you could have been set in your ways. You could have been rigid in your perceptions here. All those things have been slashed. And by you being and moving in the frequency of your divine feminine energy, regardless of what gender you are, you're in your receiving season. Okay? So, and your soul is ready for you to receive. So in order for you to receive, we got to get rid of what was taking from you. Okay? Divine Spirit, for my air signs, how's their soul shifting? Let me pull this down some. I realize you guys can't see it. Apology, forgiveness. How is your soul shifting? It's shifting. It's definitely major shifts, because through this slicing, these patterns, these cycles, this repetition, now there's forgiveness that's happening. Okay? Now it is starting with forgiving others, forgiving ourselves, and working on both at the same damn time. Because, you know, you're heading into the light. And this is considered baggage. Imagine taking black garbage bags, you know, into a space that is high vibrational frequency. You're taking garbage. The Spirit's like, nah, can't do that. Can't do that. So what we got to do in this space is we got to release the guilt. We got to work on the shame. We got to work on the regrets here. We got to get you and rewire you to start talking more to yourself with compassion. We're going to assist you with better understanding your emotions. Okay? Like there's a major shift here, y'all. This shit was hazardous. Look at this man has on a hazard mat. Something in your life was hazardous. Look at all this smoke here, right? Something was hazardous to your health. Whether that's your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health. It's like the angels, your soul is saying, we had to clean you out. We got to clean you out. And this is a process. that you can't skip through. Maybe in the past you used to microwave it, right? Push past, not deal with, ignore, just to move forward. But not this time around. Alright? Because you're not bringing no baggage where you're going. You dropping that shit here. Okay? For my air signs here, how's your soul shifting? So in this space, you may be a little closed off. Okay? For some of you, this space that you were in, even though your angels was right there by you, felt like you was fighting in the battlefield, like you was at war with something. At war with yourself, at war with that situation, at war with the circumstances. You was on battlefield, but your angels had your back through it all. You couldn't see it because you was on the battlefield. You was fighting for your fucking life, you heard me? You was fighting for your life, whatever it was, not literally, metaphorically. Okay? And so, you know, many of my air signs, when you are in a space of serious shifts in your life, many of you retreat. You retreat. And for others, the universe put you in a space of being closed off. And then you wonder, like, people ain't called and checked on me, or people ain't done this. That's because the universe was like, Source, your ancestors like, this person is off limits right now. So I'm going to need you to find you something else to do. Leave this person alone for right now. You know? Because they need to kind of figure some things out. They need to, again, must go deep. They got to go deep. And your soul was like, man, y'all was resisting like a motherfucker at first. Pride had gotten in the way. You know, the ego got wounded. And that's another reason why the soul said it's a process, because we got to tackle these things. We got to get you to figure out what's the resistance here. We got to get you to figure out why is your ego wounded here. We got to get you to figure out here why you in defensive mode, or why you haven't been defensive, whatever the case may be. So this season may have had you closed off, okay? Or the universe may have put you in that space. But your spirit is like, you're a warrior. You're a warrior. So y'all don't give up. Even though there's been times that you wanted to say, fuck it. Even though there's times that you wanted to say, I'm done. You didn't give up. You didn't give up on you. Because your angels have been there. You thought that they was going to let you give up on you? Really? Now, they can't always save you from the battles that you got to fight. But they will forever have your back. And the thing about this is that your team, you know, even though we're speaking about the soul, but your spirit team, they are protecting you more than you realize. More than you realize. All right? For my air signs, how's that soul shifting? We have the card of marriage, and we have the path to intimacy. For some of you, it's been your love life. That pattern, that cycle, that constant repetition is pertaining to your love life. Not all, though. For others, it was pertaining to what you had committed yourself to. Maybe you committed yourself to something that was just based on lust. Maybe you committed yourself to something based just on the money. There was some type of commitment Okay? Some type of commitment here. That is kind of like you had to see the truth of. Because it's definitely giving me that a way of seeing something was just an illusion. So we have lost and wounded here. You know, feeling those emotions of not feeling like enough. You know, missing someone, feeling left out in the cold. You know, feeling the loss. You know, it's like certain things in life that happens would take us all the way back from childhood. You know, bring up those memories as well for some. So it was a very uncomfortable place. My left ear is ringing. It was a very uncomfortable place that you had to be in. But you freed yourself from it. And for those that's in the other aspect of this here, you're going to be moving through this energy here. But my air signs, you are bringing yourself out of it. You have brought yourself out of it with the help of your spirit team. With the help of your soul that is shifting. Okay? You also have here path of the heart here. Path of the heart. See, you're walking away and walking into this new beginning with emotional wisdom. Emotional wisdom is the best type of abundance that you can ever have. Yep. And it's like now in this path that you're on, you're going to be so dedicated to keeping this new frequency. To keeping this new identity. You're going to be very dedicated and committed in a new way, in a better way. You're more committed to your heart. For some, you were committed to their heart. And you lost yourself along the way. But this time around, you're committing to yourself. And that's a force to be reckoned with. Okay? We have connections here. So like I said, during this process, some of your connections, people had to go. You know, permanently. Some people just had to be put on pause temporarily while you were under reconstruction. In this next chapter, meaningful connections are on the horizon for you. The meaningful connections is what's going to be on the horizon for you. Those connections, those friendships, those relationships that is not vibrating or elevating or at the same frequency in which you're going to be at, they won't last. They won't last. They will deteriorate just like that. So pay attention to that as well. Okay? So your soul has really been helping you guys do some amazing things. And this next chapter is going to bring forth a lot of smiles, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. Like, this is kind of like your wish fulfillment. Sometimes things don't show up or happen how we had anticipated it. But it always works out how it needs to be. And it always works out for our highest good. Okay. So this does complete the collective reading here for my air signs. Please make sure that you like. Feel free to comment as well. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe. If you're interested in a more personal reading with me, you can go to spiritualvibrations.org. Information is in the description box. So until next time, Ashe.